Hey, Lucas here. I'd like to take a look at this Harrison lathe. It's about a mid-70s vintage. Very nice lathe, very heavy duty. We've gone through pretty much everything in it. And we got video clips of that. We can be editing that into the clip here. Anyway, this is a M300. It's a 13-inch lathe. Actually, it's a little more than 13 inches. I want to show it undergoing a cut. And we've got a piece of alloy steel, actually, just typical stuff. It's not a easy machining steel. It's a very tough material, and this thing just cuts fabulously. So we'll show that. And we're going to show some of the things that this will come with. Okay. So let's get her underway. So one of the nice features on the lathe is the chuck. It's a top jaw removable, and you can switch them around. You get both major configurations of the chuck that way, for gripping large OD or smaller things in the ID like this. So it's a nice chuck, and it's a D1-4 spindle nose on it with a Morse Taper 5 spindle socket. So we're gonna just get her going here. It's not a very deep cut in this case. Earlier I actually had done a deep cut, and man, actually I think it works better with a deeper cut. But it's going to leave a very nice finish. Well, let's talk about some of the features on the lathe because we have a little time here. So, we've got we're set up now to traverse. There's an oiler. We can oil the whole carriage with a couple of exceptions. There's a couple of manual oil points on the apron and saddle. But for the most part, it's all done with this. It's got a oil bath apron. It's got an oil bath gearbox, which actually comprises these 3 sets of levers. So there's 2 up here for the spindle speed, 1 here for the traverse direction, reverse and forward, and then these 3 are for the gearbox. It drives both the drive shaft, which is turning now, and the lead screw, which right now is stationary. Yeah, we're just about to the end of our cut here. And so, some nice features on the lathe. The carriage and the crossfeed clutch lever, it just works with such great positiveness. It's just great. It clicks in, clicks out. Never a concern about having it lock up if you're undertaking a heavy cut and you get close to a shoulder or something. It's going to disengage. It also has this operating lever, which will give us forward and reverse. I'm going to just move this out of the way. Reverse, forward. So everything on that is working great. It's got a very extensive gearbox. The gearbox is, we have all of these threads. These are the English threads. These are the metric threads. It'll also do module, which is not shown on this chart. It's actually on a chart inside the door here. It'll do all these feeds. So let's talk about the feeds. So it'll go from 1/1000th per revolution to 20 thousandths per revolution. So it's got actually up to 40. So 1/1000th to 40 thousandths per revolution. Or if you want to look at it in metric, 0.03 millimeters up to 1 millimeter per revolution. Okay. On the threading, it's right now set up to do English threads. I used it earlier today to do that. It goes everywhere from 56 threads per inch to 2 threads per inch. And it's all very clearly marked and labeled. Everything works great on that. Here's the metric ranges from 0.2 pitch to, I believe that's, is that possible? 14 millimeters. Wow. Yeah, that's like a It's like, can that possibly be a half inch? Yeah, 2 threads per inch is roughly 14. Okay. So it's got a real nice range of speeds. Right now we're in a medium speed range. We can shift it to get the low speed, and boy, it really goes down low. I'm gonna put it in gear here momentarily, and we'll show it in the low speed range. So here's our low speed. So it's very slow. It's at 50 RPM, which is quite nice for threading. That is the lowest speed. It'll go up to 3,000 RPM. So stay under 1,000 RPM with a chuck, and you go to higher speeds if you want with a collet. Here's a medium speed. And I'm just going to shift it up here to the next higher speed range. It shifts very nicely, and it's very positive. I'll go up one more step, I believe, from that. No, I guess that was the intermediate one. There we go. This is one step up. So all told, it works really well. It's really a nice shape. I do have a video of several of the systems on the lathe being checked. So now let's talk about the features on the lathe. So it does have. So first of all, it's a metric lead screw. It's a 6mm pitch lead screw, and you can cut English threads on it. All the hand wheels are metric on it. The hand wheels are metric, and if you put a DRO on there, absolutely won't make a difference. Nobody would use the graduations anymore. They would use the DRO. It's got the operating lever, as I mentioned earlier. It's got the oiler. It's got this threading. This is threading. This is selecting either the cross feed or the traverse. We're on traverse right now. And it's got, as I mentioned, the threading dial. And that actually has pickoff gears inside. That one changes, and that is all listed right here, how that's done. It's got a clutch all of these are clutched for overload protection. It's got safety interlocks on the door. If we loosen this up, you just hear the relay just kicked out. So it shuts itself off, de-energizes part of the lathe. The spindle won't run if the door's open. Same on the bottom. It's got a coolant system built in. It's right here. This is the nozzle for it. So here's the nozzle. One would then direct oil, and I would recommend using oil and not any kind of soluble oil water mixture, because I think the lathe will last longer if you don't have any water on it, unless you're using it every day, which is possible. It's got the chip tray on the back, so that helps to contain the the chips, keep them in the lower chip tray so that they can be cleaned out. Keeps them down here. The compound is really nice. It's seated nicely on the top slide. So, or should I say, the top slide is seated nicely on the cross slide. It's got a nice tool post on it, and actually, I've got 5 holders that go with this. It's the 5 holders that come with all these Chinese tool posts. So it's got 2 standard tool holders, a knurling tool, a boring bar, and a cutoff tool. So it's got those 5. So that's what it will come with. I'm not showing them here, but they are available, and they're coming with the lathe. Let's talk about some of the other accessories. It's got a relatively hard to find accessory, and that's this guy. It's got the steady rest, and I think it's an essential tool for any lathe. Normally one has to run work pieces and drill a pilot hole, and then run a live center in the tailstock to keep it working. This helps one do that with long pieces that can't be directly chucked up in the chuck. It's got a chuck board. This actually fits on the ways, and it holds, will prevent the chuck from impacting and damaging the ways during chuck changes. That's a nice thing to have. Tailstock wrench. The wrenches for the for the lathe chucks. It's got a nice Pratt Bernard 4-jaw chuck, and it's got two other nice features that are quite costly. It's got a micrometer carriage stop, and that works really well. It locks up nice. It's got a there we go. It's got this. This is the Morse Taper 5 to 5C adapter for the spindle nose, spindle socket. So those are all the components that are going to come with it. It does have the 3-phase motor and pump for the coolant. That's in the back. I'm not going to show that. The switch for that is right there. That the green and red one. Shut it off and break it very nicely with this flip brake. It's a really nice feature to have. One can also reverse the spindle and shut it off. So it's really a great feature. It will not re-engage or re-energize until you put it back in a neutral position. You can push down on this all day long. It won't re-energize until you bring it back into neutral. So that's a nice feature. It's also got this storage area here, which is really nice. Okay, you got this gearbox. This is from a Harrison M300 lathe, and that's where the gearbox came off from, right there, where that. So this is actually part of the gearbox. This is part of the oil containment system, and they paint it, and that you know, seals off the surface of the porous cast iron, so you have a lower leak rate. So here's all the, you know, all the gears are looking just real nice on it. Everything shifts good. There's no broken teeth in here. We'll look at as many of these as we can, but we can see there's no broken teeth in any of this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and we'll see if that helps. Let's bring our light in a little closer too. So anyway, the gearbox looks real nice. It's got one input shaft, and it's actually shown to the right because we've got it flipped around, and then the two output shafts are on the left there. See if we can do that. So yeah, here we go. So the two output shafts. This one drives the lead screw, and this one drives the operating, not the operating rod, but rather the carriage traversing across. Okay, there's also down in here. There's a 8-position cam, and that drives these shift forks, and everything on this looks fine too, by the way, and it does shift nicely. There was no varnish on this box. That's sometimes an issue. Oils can turn to varnish. So there's 3 levers on the front. One of them controls the position of this slider here. It's one of 3 positions there, right here, or I think it's a neutral position in the middle. And there's a second one which controls this. I think it's this. Yeah, it's that guy. And then a third one is over here, and it works on the spline and either sets this here, here, or here. So either engaging this gear, a neutral position, or here. So anyway, that's the gearbox. Everything, as I said, looks good on it. There's a bevel gear down here, right in here, and that bevel gear is so the front knob turns. You know, if we were looking at the lathe, it would turn like that, and then the bevel gear then translates that motion into rotary motion this way in a different plane. Alright, so here's the apron onto the Harrison M300, and this also looks real good. We're going to show it. It's all clean. It's all clean internally. Everything looks great on it. All the controls work fine on it. There's an oil tube down in here. It goes from the oil pump. And flip it around, I'll show it. This is the top. This interfaces with the saddle. This is the oiling system. That's the distribution port to get the oil up into the saddle, where I think just about all the oiling occurs. I can look down the barrel here and see the half nuts, and they look really nice. Here's the oil pump. You pull that out, it's spring loaded. You can hear it. There's nothing in there, of course. There's no oil going to be moved. But there's the half nuts. They look tremendous. There's almost no wear on them. They're just not worn. Here's the the capstan for the Traverse. That's not worn out. There's a bronze Spur Gear in there, and that's got lots and lots of meat left on it. That would be the one that would be the sacrificial one as the machine is used, but it doesn't actually look like it's been used very much, so it's great. Here's the shifter for selecting either the carriage Traverse, which I believe is out, or the crossfeed, which is in like that. So everything works on this. Alright, so here we got the M300 lathe, and I'm just looking at the runout here on the spindle socket, and this is a tenths indicator, so it looks like I think we had initially a little bit of movement, but that's only I think because the angle of this thing. So alright, here we are on the outside of the spindle nose. And we got, again, a tenths indicator. We got no run out. Maybe a little bit, maybe a tenth of a thousandths. Not even. So I mean, spindle nose on this spindle socket, spindle nose, everything. Spindle socket's great. Spindle nose is great. Everything's looking good on this. Alright, so this is off the Harrison M300 lathe, and we can tell that's true from the handle here. And anyway, I just wanted to show the condition here where the saddle meets the ways, and everything looks just great. There's really no gouges on this. There's no ridge on it. It's really good. Same with up here. Be the front ways. Check the oiling systems. Everything is working good. This is the high pressure point, and the oil comes out on either side here of the V ways and on the back flat way. Everything's working great. So really, there's no issues with the saddle. It just looks great. Everything looks really nice on it. Here's the gears for the these are the drive gears that drive the carriage cross feed, and they look fine. So everything looks great under the saddle. So here's the drawbar, and it's designed to fit in the spindle. This OD matches the spindle ID, and then we've got a very nicely threaded end here for the 1x20 thread. On this end, everything's working great up here. It is a quite old Royal, but everything is working great, and I took it all apart and fixed up or cleaned the bearing and re-greased it up in here. So yeah, everything's working great. That's the drawbar. So one more thing I'd like to show on this lathe. It's cutting 3/16 stainless, and that's what we got in the chuck right now. And actually, I've also put in the collet chuck. So there's a collet adapter that 5 Morse taper to 5C adapter here, and then we've got the drawbar back here pulling it up. It's a threaded drawbar. It's not a lever type, but it works really well. So we're going to run it, and we're going to show it cutting, and it's cutting about 62 thousandths off the diameter, and just working great. Let's fire it up. Now we'll take a look at the finish on it. A little hard to see here. All right, there we go. I mean, it's almost like a ground finish. So, and we know it's 316. It's actually 316L. That's the heat number, right from the factory. Anyway, this is the Harrison lathe M300 in operation, and showing the nice collet arrangement. Hey, this is Lucas. This is awesome Harrison M300 lathe, ready to go to work. You're gonna like it.